conflict rips us apart. And yet time and time again, we find ourselves in the midst of conflict, even when we don't want to be there, even when we don't want to be fighting. Some of these conflicts seem inevitable, such as when two nations have needs and there are limited resources. They might bear arms and fight over land, for example. But then other conflicts are within our control. We fight or argue because of our own prideful or selfish desires. As it's written in James chapter 4, what causes quarrels and what causes fights among you? Is it not this, that your passions are at war within you? You desire and do not have, so you murder. You covet and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel. So some of that is within our control. And it is avoidable if we could contain ourselves, if we could have self-control, if we would desire peace. We find often that some of the most intense conflicts are with our loved ones, because things like time, space, energy, resources, and goals are limited, and everybody wants part of that. And within a family, for example, we don't often get what we want. People have to sacrifice, people have to give and share. And so some of the most intense conflicts are with people that we know, friends, relatives, even fellow citizens. Into this world of conflict and quarrel, Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." Matthew 5:9 continues Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, in which he casts a new vision for a better reality, a kingdom where peace reigns and where rivalry ceases, where the King of Kings brings to ruin those who rage against the innocent and who wage war against the weak. When Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers," he has in mind a new kind of people, those who are not marked by the vicious lusts of the world, who try to fight and quarrel for what they can get, but those who seek reconciliation with their enemies. Remember, this is the same Jesus who said, "Love your enemies and bless those who persecute you." Later, Jesus will talk more about persecution, but here he's talking about what you can control. You see, you can't decide who will injure you, but you can decide who you will forgive, who you will pursue peace with. Again, hear these words of Jesus. "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." It's easy to miss. We don't use the word peacemaker all that often, but the New Living Translation helps make this clear by flipping it around. The New Living Translation says, "Blessed are those who work for peace." And hopefully that's true of us. Peace does not merely come to us as if floating on a cloud, as if found in a forest, or as if seen on the sea. This kind of peace that Jesus is talking about here is found through work, through patience, forgiveness, and sacrifice. We are invited to live in shalom, the peace of God, seeking well-being for all, even those who hate us. So this is not passive, but this is an active kind of peace, a kind of peace that is worked for. Remember that when Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers," he's referring to God's shalom, which is much deeper and broader than we often realize. This goes beyond a quiet moment in the day or a time of personal reflection. Shalom speaks of the welfare of human beings, and even more than that, the welfare of the cosmos at large. So when God invites us into shalom, he's inviting us into something incredible, a new way of being. And he calls us to invite others into that as well. You see, shalom welcomes a new beginning, a new realm, a new era. Again, in the Beatitudes, Jesus invites us into a new way of living to experience the blessings of God's kingdom. The gospel speaks of an eternal and universal peace which extends far beyond the personal. May we never limit the gospel to our own quiet hearts or our own individual peace, for Jesus has come not only for you, but for shalom. Jesus draws people from all nations unto himself, so that through the cross we may find peace with God and be adopted as children. And here's what's amazing. In Jewish thought, a person is named something when it is that thing. So when Jesus says the peacemakers will be called children of God, it means they are children of God. In other words, we don't earn our place in God's family, as if making peace or being a peacemaker will make us worthy to be children. That's not the gospel message. No, Jesus is saying that peacemakers are children of God, and when people recognize that, when they see the display of peace, when they see people working hard, sacrificing, they will see that and say, that right there is a child of God. That person knows who God is, because no one else makes peace like that. Remember that when Jesus says, blessed are the peacemakers, he's referring to God's shalom, which is much deeper and broader than we often realize. This goes beyond a quiet moment in the day or a time of personal reflection. Shalom speaks of the welfare of human beings, and even more than that, the welfare of the cosmos at large. So when God invites us into shalom, he's inviting us into something incredible, a new way of being. And he calls us to invite others into that as well. So may we be peacemakers in every area of life, toward those who accuse and offend us, towards those who think differently than us, to those who disagree and enrage us, even to those who call us enemies. After all, God is the ultimate peacemaker. He sent his Son, Jesus Christ, so that we may be children of God. So who are we then to not extend peace towards others? If God has given us his peace, it is then ours to extend towards those who are against us. No one is worthy of peace, as we have all fallen short, as we have all caused wrath. We have caused conflict ourselves. So may we recognize that the grace of God is to be given to others. May we be peacemakers, for we, the children of God, are called to peace. Amen.